Welcome into Wager Talk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Andrew McGinnis and Andy Lang of WagerTalk.com. We're talking Sunday AFC West matchup here, Andy. We get the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're seeing 48 being the total, -9. That's the Chiefs in Arrowhead. What are you liking? AFC West battle here, Andy Lang.
Well, it won't be too suspenseful. I really like the under on this game. I've seen 48.5 in a couple books, but 48 seems to be the number. Two teams that are pretty strange, and Josh Jacobs was just quoted as saying that the Raiders start out stiff and dull, and says, I think we just coast a little too much. So that's not a ringing endorsement of a team that just put up 15 whopping points against Washington. And on the flip side, the Chiefs, it's a pretty hot topic about what's wrong with the Chiefs offense. And I've heard tons of different takes, and I don't really care about the takes as why their offense isn't clicking. They're just not putting up a ton of points. I do have really like their defense. They've really taken on this bend but don't break. We saw that big drive that Denver had, but it resulted in 0 points. So I'm just seeing a clunky offense from the Raiders, a clunky offense from Kansas City, and a defense from Kansas City that's not giving up a lot of points. I would expect Las Vegas to really try and mimic what Denver did in the running game. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a really big game. That's the obvious path to victory for Las Vegas. But I really like Kansas City. I wrote that they've discovered the beauty of the check down over the last month. They don't have to throw the ball deep every single time. So I see a slower offense from Kansas City. I don't see a lot of touchdowns. I could see some really extended drives, and this total just seems to be a little bit too high. I like the under coming in just a little bit under 48.
McGinnis, coming to you next. The Chiefs kind of, I guess, against the spread wise, weren't all that impressive this season. But the last few games, they've really put it together. This is a division where all the teams are 500 and better. So everybody's really alive here. Even though the ultimate equalizer here is Kansas City -9, this could be a pretty good game. What are you thinking in Arrowhead?
Yeah, definitely, Drew. The old saying, good teams win, great teams cover. But ultimately, I don't think these teams actually care about covering. They care about just putting towards good games and good efforts and winning the games. But yeah, it seems like this Kansas City team has turned it on. I got to mention real quick, since Andy mentioned Josh Jacobs, and some reports have been coming out about him and his quotes. Well, I just found a report, Andy. Apparently, he has 9 kids and a 10th on the way. Maybe it's 8 and 9th on the way. But I think he's trying to beat Phil Rivers already for that competition. But just had to get that out there. But I like the under, just like Andy, for a lot of the exact same reasons. And, you look at this Chiefs offense, sure, they're not connecting on these downfield plays. But if you take a look at their games and watch their games, which I have been over the past several weeks, you notice that they aren't really going for those big plays as much. And everybody wants to talk about their offense and talk about how they haven't really been producing these highlight reel-worthy plays. But let's talk about the defense. Let's give them some credit, just like Andy alluded to. The last time these two teams played, KC put up like 40 points. I don't expect that to be the case, and I expect it to because the way KC uses the clock right now, they're marching the field a lot more. I think that as much as we can sit here and talk, Drew, about KC's offense struggles, which everybody's been talking about that, we also have to look at, the type of team they're turning into, the play style that they have. And when you have a better defense and your defense is kind of getting you through some games and having great red zone coverage, you might not need to consistently go for these 40, 50-yard bombs downfield. And I've actually seen that from the Chiefs. Sure, they aren't connecting on some plays, but it seems like they're really using their possessions really well. You look down the list of some of these teams they played, even like Dallas, a team that can put out some points, that has lots of weapons, holding them to just 9 points. I'm impressed by KC's defense while everybody else is crapping on their offense. I like the under, and I do think KC continues to cover. It won't be easy here. But as far as this Vegas offense goes, I can't trust it on a week-in, week-out basis, and KC will turn it on against them. So I'm with Andy on the under, but a slight lean here to KC at home.
I like it. Good stuff from Andrew McGinnis and Andy Lang. Check them both out, WagerTalk.com. And guys, a good day to do so is Mondays. It's $9 Mondays. All handicappers, all plays discounted to just $9. Check it out, WagerTalk.com.